it's Courtney. Welcome back to Poppy and Gray. It has been a minute since I have been here. If you are new, thank you for stopping by. And if you like this video or want to see more, please don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up. And if you have been a follower, welcome back. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Like I said, it's been a minute since I have been here, and I just kind of wanted to give you all an update on what has been going on and where I have been. So yeah, this is just going to be a little bit of a chatty video. So back in December, I had planned a series for the 12 days of Christmas. I just was going to do 12 videos like leading up to Christmas Day. And I had pre-filmed some stuff and like done a vlog and was really sort of on a roll with that and liking where I was headed with that when we got the news that our dog Henry, who was 13 years old, had lymphoma. So ultimately we had to make the decision to have him put to sleep. So that kind of, I lost a little steam with that. Obviously it was a very hard decision for us to make. Anyone with pets knows that, you know, it's almost like you wish that they could talk so that they could tell you what to do, and you just really have to act in their best interest with the advice of your vet on, you know, how you should proceed. And we had, his issues started right around Thanksgiving, so we had spent a few weeks, you know, taking the advice of our vet and kind of giving him medicine and kind of going down that route to see whether or not that would help, and it didn't. So ultimately we made the decision to, you know, go ahead and kind of end his suffering and let him go. And it was, you know, we've had him since he was a puppy. I think we brought him home when he was 12 weeks old, somewhere around that. So, you know, we'd had him for a really long time. And we also, our 5-year-old, you know, that's the only, he's never known life without Henry. And he's 5, and it was his first experience with loss like that. And he also is autistic, so processing information is, you know, different for him sometimes. So we weren't really sure like how to approach it with him to make him understand or help him understand what was going on and kind of help him deal with his emotions. So we had all of that going on. And then I think a few days later, I ended up having a sciatic nerve flare-up in my lower back, which is where your sciatic nerve is located. I hadn't had any issues with sciatica since my pregnancy, and it really took me out. I mean, there were like 2 or 3 days where I basically was just like crawling around the house because I was in so much pain. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sit. Anyone who has had sciatica knows, like, it just, there really is nothing to alleviate the pain of it. And so I think like at a certain point, my husband was super concerned. I don't think that he's ever really seen me in that much like pain. I don't even remember like being in that much pain when I was in labor. And so I had, kind of said to myself, well, if it doesn't get any better, then I'm just going to go to the, not the ER, but, the other place you go, to urgent care. Gosh, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I was going to go to urgent care just to kind of see if they could help me, do anything. And that was actually the week of, that happened like, I think Rowan's last day of school was like the 19th. So that was like all that week I was kind of dealing with my sciatic nerve. I couldn't walk. I couldn't really do anything. I was just miserable and in so much pain. So I didn't end up going to urgent care. It just sort of, I had been taking like ibuprofen and Tylenol and really just trying to like stretch it out. So the pain ended up, like it never really went away, but it was much less intense so that I could function. So I didn't really do anything medically for that. It kind of resolved itself. And then the next week, I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth pulled. So that was the week of Christmas. So I think, yeah, I got my wisdom teeth pulled on the 23rd. So, like the week of Christmas, I was kind of out of commission in terms of, I mean, I wasn't in a whole lot of pain, thankfully, but I was kind of miserable because I couldn't eat anything for probably 10 days. I couldn't eat any solid foods, and so I was just kind of like drinking soups and eating pudding and jello, and that was like basically my diet. So yeah, that kind of took me to the end of December. It was not a fun time. I think, we managed to have a really nice holiday. We always do Christmas breakfast at my house. We've done it since my older kids were little. My parents would always come, well, when they were little, they would come over and watch them open their presents, and then I would fix breakfast. But now that they're older, especially since they sleep in, so my oldest daughter is in Hawaii in the Navy, so obviously she couldn't be here for Christmas. But my other 2 daughters came and spent the night. We had a really nice night on Christmas Eve. It was very chill. We did a jigsaw puzzle, which is kind of our tradition to do. And they were here in the morning to see their baby brother wake up and open his presents from Santa. So that was super fun. And then my son and his girlfriend joined us for breakfast, and we were lucky enough that my mom and dad were able to join as well. My dad will be 90 in June, so my parents are older and not in the best of health, which leads me to kind of January. So the year ended, and it didn't really end in the best way, but you kind of make do, because that's life. And my sister had called after the first of the year. My mom had been in a nursing home for most of 2019, really going between the nursing home and the hospital. She just was not in the best of health. My sister called me right after the first of the year and told me, her health had kind of rapidly gotten worse. And then I want to say like the 7th of January, they ended up moving her from the nursing home she was in to the hospital. She was in intensive care for a few days, and ultimately she ended up passing away on January 10th. So that is sort of where I've been. It wasn't like unexpected. Like I said, my mom was 85. She had spent most of the last few years in bad health. 2019, she was really not well and suffering and in a great deal of pain, I think. So her passing was not unexpected, but I honestly, I don't know. I really did not expect it to hit me as hard as it has. We are just short of, what's today? Today is February 4th. So, it's been about 3 weeks or so, 3.5 weeks, something like that. And I am, still continuing to process. I probably will be for a long time. It just, if you have been in a circumstance where you have lost someone, especially, if it's someone close to you, a parent or whatnot, and you've had to deal with the services and the funeral and all of the stuff that goes into that, and just tending to my dad as well, my parents. Their anniversary would have been on Valentine's Day. It would have been their 69th anniversary. So, I mean, he has spent basically his entire adult life with my mom, and I'm worried about him. I was worried about my kids, once again, trying to explain loss to my 5-year-old, and his challenges mean that, like, routine and sort of knowing are very important to him, in terms of processing and it can affect his behavior. So just, trying to parent a child with special needs while you are dealing with your own grief and depression, it's ironic, I guess, that last year, the early part of last year, I had been in therapy, and my psychiatrist decided to go back into teaching. So she actually closed her practice, and I was seeing a psychiatrist and a therapist who were in the same practice, which I found really helpful and convenient. And so because she closed her practice, I stopped going to my therapist, just because they were not, it was probably, 40 minutes from my house, so not super convenient in terms of getting there, but convenient in the fact that they were in the same practice, and so, the sharing of information, I felt very, like, taken care of in that way. And so I knew I needed to get back into therapy, and I had sort of been pushing it off. And I decided right at the end of the year that I was going to try to find a new therapist that was closer to my house to make it easier for me to go as often as I need to go. So I ended up finding someone, and she was accepting new patients. And my mom passed away on January 10th, which was a Friday, and my first appointment with my new therapist was on the Monday afterwards. And I didn't really know how to it was the first appointment, so I didn't really want to cancel. There's that whole 24-hour thing, whatever. So I ended up going, and she had sent an email with all of the new patient forms and intake information and family history and all of that, for me to print out and fill out so that she could have it at our first appointment. And so when I walked in the door, you know, she asked me how I was and all of that, and she asked me if I had the paperwork, and I had forgotten it at home, and so I was like, yeah, about that. So I kind of have a lot going on. My mom died, and I forgot to bring the paperwork, and she was just like, what? Like, your mom, like, you know, and she was very, you know, she was like, my first instinct is to hug you, but this is the first, you know, I just met you 5 minutes ago, and I don't want to, like, overwhelm you and invade your personal space before we've built a relationship, which actually made me feel really good and trust her. So yeah, so I am back in therapy. I picked a really good time to get back in therapy. So yeah, so that's a good thing to have a person who's helping me as I like go through this thing that I have never experienced before. My parents were older when they had me. One of my grandparents passed away before I was even born, and my other grandparents passed away like when I was in high school, and I was not particularly like super close to them. So while it was a loss, once again, you know, I was in high school, and teen and adolescence is like its own thing. So I was kind of detached, I think, from the whole experience. So this is my first time losing someone really close to me, and kind of having that whole, yeah, that like hole inside of you now, and like how is life normal? And you know, after you lose someone, everything feels different, but the world is still the same, I guess, but you're different. And you know, you just have those moments where you want to scream and you expect everything to stop, and it doesn't happen. So that is really the update on where I've been, why I've been away from this space. I do have plans for this channel, and I do have things planned out that I really want to do. I do want to do more lifestyle stuff. So, and I really actually enjoyed vlogging, even though my last vlog was kind of ended on like a kind of a down note, because that is when we had to have our dog put to sleep. I did enjoy the week that I vlogged, so I do want to do more of those periodically. I would like to do more chatty videos like this, hopefully more like upbeat, but just, you know, chatty, what's going on with me, let's talk about things that are happening kind of video. Definitely more videos about books and book reviews. I definitely want to read more this year. And yeah, more planner and journal things. I am still in my same planner system, so that may be a little bit boring because nothing's really changed for me. I really like what I'm doing. It's working, so I'm not gonna fool with that too much. More journaling videos. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in and give you an update and let you know that I am still around. Things are, you know, I won't say they're good. I have days that are fine and days that are not, but I am still here. And I hope that you will continue to watch my videos and join me in this space to see what I can create content-wise this week. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Like I said before, if you haven't subscribed and would like to see what I've got going on, be sure to click the subscribe button down below, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.